I'd fought the bear and won. I passed out. I woke up on the kitchen table in Mary's home, with the puffing and clacking of the loom weaving its threads together beside me. My back and hands arched, and when I tried to raise my head, my vision went black. There now, said Mary, rising from her work to touch my forehead with her cool hand. You're safe now. Bear, I croaked, run. She smiled gently. The bear is dead. In fact, our Mr. Tanner's already stripped her hide and hung it on a rack. You'll have a fine winter coat before long. Dead? I slurred. She will never hunt anyone ever again, she promised. Oh, I said, and let my heavy eyes close. That's nice. I dreamed I was a child again, in the days before my sister Evelyn was killed. The dream turned to a nightmare of blood and fur and screaming. I woke gasping, tangled in bed linens, already stained red from the wounds I'd broken open. Someone had moved me into my room as I slept. The sun was shining through the shutters, and I found myself tremendously thirsty. Remembering my weakness, I sat up with elaborate care and found a mug of cool water on the sill of my window. I drank it and longed for more. My body fought me and won, and I lay back on the bed, watching the leaf-filtered light dance on the opposite wall. I smiled at it with the calm fascination of a newborn child. My silver magic worked on my body, healing me faster than I could have hoped. I was glad of my silver coin, small as it was. The usual fashion for travellers was to carry steel, usually a moulded waistcoat for gentlemen, or an external corset for a lady, to hint at magical strength and put off highwaymen. Some French ladies now wore steel corsets, activated or not. It was the appearance that mattered. Instead of depending on escorts or chaperones, the scandalous independents only made steel corsets more fashionable than ever. Her Royal Highness Princess Victoria was never seen in public without her own steel corset, even though activated silver might have eased her ill health. She and I were born in the same month and year, and were both doomed to our respective fates, both great ones in our own way. My magic was less visible, but just as real as the royal steel, and it was restoring me from the inside out. As I lay at peace with my secrets uncovered and my nightmares quelled, a voice spoke inside my head. It was as clear as a person standing beside me, but I knew at once there was no one there. No one but I would ever hear it, a harsh voice, like an animal. It felt like the bear that I'd just killed was once more standing beside me. Yet it was real. I have you now, you festering loiter sack. Your life is mine. I am your owner now. Oh good, I said aloud, I'm delirious. You can't ignore me, fool. I sighed, not to mention talking to myself. I'm going to be here in your head forever. Shut up! I wasn't in good shape. I'd survived worse, but that didn't mean I'd survive this time. So much for my glorious victory over the bear that had haunted my family for so long. I woke up the next day to an insistent whispering. It slowly dawned on me that it wasn't the voice in my head, it was a person. Great one, great one. I cracked open my eyes and saw Mary carrying water, a bag of fresh berries, and an oversized table knife. She smiled at me and began feeding gooseberries to me one by one, patiently waiting until I'd chewed and swallowed and was ready for the next. I hadn't the heart to ask what she was doing in my room. My own weakness was answer enough. I didn't dare tell her I needed to visit the privy. She hesitated, and I wondered if she'd read my thoughts on my face. Are you staying in Hollowvale? She asked. You must know you're welcome here, no matter who the next official Soul Eater turns out to be. Excellent, she said. Incidentally, I've heard metals are more likely to activate for Soul Eaters, so I want you to have my snuff box. It's only tin, but perhaps it'll be useful for medical powders or such like. She gave me a lovely little tin box that disappeared entirely inside my fist. I opened it to see it was already filled with slivers of willow bark to ease my pain. Thank you, but I'm not sure even Soul Eaters can activate magic without nearly dying. Let's hope you're more magical than you know, she said, neatly overriding me. If it does activate, the noises it makes might serve you as a watchdog of sorts. I thanked her as graciously as I knew how after she'd seen to my injuries, and then again when she gifted me with a full set of clothes. I begged for some privacy from her for a moment to use the privy and put on the outer layer of clothes at once. Now that you know us a little better, she said when she came back into the room, where would you like to spend your convalescence? You're welcome in my home. I blushed, embarrassed to be a burden. Could the voice in my head harm others through me? No, she would have done so already. Fortunately, my convalescence would be mercifully short, since my magic was working away to heal me much faster than expected. After being tended to by my hostess, I felt almost well. Mrs. Valley's house was undoubtedly bigger than Mary's, but I suspected her enthusiasm for my skill set was already waning. I ate 3 full bowls of porridge, apparently unable to stop myself. Miss Valiant, Mary, she made me call her Mary, made sure I was comfortable and then hung around as if she wanted something. What is it? I asked. You're hosting me in your home and I haven't done a thing to repay you. Whatever you want, you deserve it.